And we're back. I found a secret switch in this crazy room that, boom, more treasure chests.
Heart. Rupee. And...
Key! Up high.
Woo!
That was a terrible high five, but it was better than if I was alone.
There you go, that's felt manly.
I can't feel my arm.
Really? A little bit?
Ow.
Makes me feel good. Strong.
There he is, strong high five warrior.
It seems weird that we're so excited about finding this key, but we're shooting this all in one day, as you can see by our clothes, and we're a little tired.
Changing light.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay, though.
It's October, the sun is going down soon.
No, we've run the entire gamut of our energy so far.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I know we told...
These little things are keeping us alive and trying to make sure they're brand.
It's a Monster Energy drink, it's okay.
I don't want Monster to sue me.
Yeah, because one thing Monster hates is Let's Players on YouTube talking about how much they love their brand.
Well, in 5 years, when my scandal comes out, whatever it be...
It's a Terry Panty scandal. Did you know that they weren't men's panties? I thought it was a new style!
I thought they were for everybody.
It's like, we have security camera footage of you purchasing women's panties in, clearly labeled, the women's section of Walmart.
Fine. They're lacy and they feel good.
You know what? The silk feels good. The silk feels good on my package.
You know, I honestly can't think of what my my scandal would be. Maybe I'll turn out to be secretly racist, and I don't even know.
Ooh, that'll be a fun surprise at the end.
Yeah.
I wonder if I'm racist. Let's find out. It's like, I was the killer all along. It's the last person I would suspect.
It's like, I don't feel racist, but maybe I'll do something wrong. Well,
wait, I can't use that word?
Eventually that is gonna happen. I'm sorry, and I have nothing against anybody. I feel like everybody's equal. I love everybody. But I have no doubt, because I'm 26 and that's already starting to happen, where, you used to be able to sit, you have, the correct words for people are changing now. Now it's transsexual, and you have to know the differences.
Yeah, you can't call it, you have to understand, when we were growing up, calling someone a transvestite or a tranny for short was okay. That's what you did to describe. That was the word that you called someone.
Yeah, it was in movies, the movies that helped get transsexual people, that was about accepting transsexual people use those words, so it seemed okay, but now it's not. We've learned.
Yeah, we're not allowed to use that word anymore. It's I'm okay with that. It's just help us understand that as white guys who really have very little at stake, socially speaking, we're trying to stay on the up and up, but I mean, I have a little bit more patience with older people who are what do you mean I can't say colored anymore, you know? It's they grew up, that was the appropriate term. That was what you said when you, in polite company, you know?
Yeah. No, I get it a little bit more, and it's you'd always say that about your grandparents, it was the time. And I promise you, I will do my best until the day I die to try and keep up on the correct terminology and try to be welcoming to everybody I can be.
We'll try and be hip with the kids.
Yeah, I promise you at some point I'm going to make a mistake. And I apologize already for it, because at some point the terminology is going to get away from me. I'm not going to realize it, and I'm going to make a mistake. I'm sorry, I'm white, and I apologize. And yes, I feel bad about what other white people have done.
Anyways, so these guys here, these little horsehead guys, I don't think they've actually shown up in any other Zelda game outside of this one. Yeah. And that's a damn shame. It's a good character design.
Yeah, both sides of my family are fairly decent. The U.S.
I'm really trying to move us away from that topic.
I was just saying.
You're not helping!
No, I was just saying
Anyways.
Fairly new.
I do notice how they changed these laser statues too. In Ocarina of Time, they're more like robotic, and these ones I never could figure out what they're supposed to be. Like I think they're supposed to be looking like those little crystal plinths that I hit to hit the switches, and they just get like this random eye circling around them that shoots lasers.
Yeah, I don't like it. I tried. This is one of those things where I tried to keep up on the nomenclature. I couldn't.
Oh God, Terry. Stop.
So I don't know what they're called. I'm just not gonna say it.
I don't want people to be.
My promise.
I don't want to get angry if I. Is it okay to call them horse people? Okay, we're in seriously dangerous territory. We need to move somewhere else.
So here's a question. There's a lot of Triforces in here.
Okay.
Why are they green? I don't know the correct nomenclature for this.
Okay, no, seriously, we have to stop, Terry. We have to.
I know. You ever notice that these guys look really similar to the ones in Final Fantasy? Like the hats.
Oh yeah, it's the idea of it's the traditional iconic witch thing.
Yeah.
The Western idea of the witch.
Yeah.
And now we've just insulted the pagan community.
Alright, nobody's gonna like this.
I don't think anyone liked this before.
What was the little dude in He-Man?
I have no clue. I know which one you're talking about, but
Yeah,
I never watched that show.
I didn't watch the original He-Man long before my time, but they did the remake in like the early 2000s. I did see a few episodes of that.
I knew that Snarf was the equivalent in Thundercats.
Yeah.
Snarf.
That's easy because he says his name.
I'm sure that guy probably says his name too. To be fair, it was like this. It feels like 1980s morning cartoons were like the second wave of Hanna-Barbera, where it's just like we'll just keep reusing the same joke and same joke, same style of animation, same everything between like 6 different shows.
Yeah. But a lot of those shows have tried they tried twice, and I think only the second one made it to television. So reboot Thundercats.
Yeah, no. Apparently, the Thundercats reboot was actually pretty good.
I heard that too, but the only reboot that I've seen, like I said, I saw He-Man, which it was so long ago. I don't know. Yeah, does it even count as a modern reboot?
Right.
And Voltron.
Oh yeah, we should talk about that. Voltron on Netflix. I'm really, really enjoying it. I don't think that studio is ever going to be able to top The Last Airbender, honestly. The Last Airbender had such, like, an inclusive world that just, you wanted to be part of it, you know?
The thing that I really loved about the world is, and this was one of the things that came up when they were casting the movies, you had a lot of people being like, oh, I saw the characters as this race, I saw the characters as that race. I didn't really see them that different, you know what I mean? I just saw them as I just saw the characters.
I admit I did have a problem with the pasty white Katara. But then again, like, as someone who, just judging on my wife, I've never been that into white girls, and I always thought Katara was kind of cute, so...
Yeah, I get that, and
so that I had a little bit more personal at stake. There's just so many things wrong with the Last Airbender movie.
Yeah.
But talking about Voltron, like I really do like what they've done with Voltron. They've made it a lot more interesting to me, who's never grew up with the show.
Oh yeah, Voltron was long since over. The hype had died by the time I was even born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like our
Voltron did not
generation
survive the vehicle. Voltron.
Yeah.
1 or 2.
Well, it was Voltron died around the first wave of like the first invasion of anime to America. You know,
do you know the story
was
of Voltron? Like why there are different Voltron robots?
No, I assume marketing purposes.
Oh, I'll tell you. It's actually there are 3 different TV series. They're not related at all. They're 3 completely different animes that.
Alright, so this is Aghanim, Shadow Aghanim. Just to let you know. Checking back in with the game that we're playing, we're getting close to the end. You want to
like a Ninja Turtle.
Okay, so I bring this up every single time. look at his face, right? What is clearly a diadem on his face above his little two evil slits of like glowy eyes?
Yeah.
I thought that was his face. Like he had a little piggy face.
Uh-huh.
So you see that guy? Like I thought that was his face, and he had like bangs covering his eyes.
Oh, okay.
And because, like, to be fair, I never saw official artwork of him.
Yeah.
Until I was much older.
Yeah.
And so I always just, it just, like, maybe he's just going like, oh, you know? He's just got a little piggy face. Well, it doesn't help that, like, one of the biggest influences in my life was playing Earthbound.
Yeah.
And, you know...
Kill him! Kill him with fire!
Silver Arrows, actually. But, there's a character in that named Pokey, and who that's his face. He's got this porky little face and bangs that cover his chubby little face. So you just see, like, this little upturned nose that blends in with the bangs and his mouth. And so that was just normal.
Yeah.
Weird shit like that was just...
Yeah, but with the casting of the Avatar, like, I honestly thought you could cast kind of anybody and say that they were from this world, and I didn't believe it because I thought, they did such a great job of making all of the characters feel so inclusive.
Yeah. Maybe, of course, to be fair, we are also looking at it through, like, a white male lens, too. So it's all like, I didn't see race. I just saw good show. And it's like, we can afford to say that because we can say that about any show that has white guys in it, too.
That's true.
We don't have to be like, our race isn't represented enough. Whereas people who are like, I'm Eskimo. I'm not Eskimo. But, like, example, like, if I were to be, like, say, like, I'm Inuit, like I'm Native American to the North region, like seeing someone like Katara around is like, that's really cool. A main character who's like got some of the same heritage as I do. That's neat. Having that kind of stripped away for a movie, which didn't need that to have happen anyways, only served to like further blandify an already really bland movie.
Yeah.
Blandify's a word, right?
Yeah. I don't. But yeah,
that movie was a train wreck.
Yeah, I definitely understand where people were coming from. I mean, if you... Yeah, I get it. Which, I didn't really see the actress that played Katara as White. Like, that's why I was really surprised when she was in... I mean, I guess it's because I was transferring so much of Katara from the show.
Well, you had to survive that movie, to be fair. You just had to be like, I remember this in the show, and it was so good in the show. God, why is this happening to me?
Oh, I was going to tell you about Voltron. So Voltron is 3 separate animes. They decided to transport it to the US and localized it. And so, to give it kind of this feel that they could do 3 series of it, they set up the Voltron Force. And so there were supposed to be 3 different Voltrons, and they just grabbed 3 giant robot animes. So there was Lion Voltron, Vehicle Voltron, and then Robot Voltron. So it was 3 robots that combined into 3 smaller humanoid robots that combined into 1 larger humanoid robot. And so Lion was the first released one, and it was supposed to be in the far corner of the galaxy. And then Vehicle Force, I think, was supposed to take place closer to Earth. And they were actually, because that was supposed to be the main one, that was supposed to be the first one anyway. And then the last one was the Robot Voltron, but Vehicle Voltron didn't do well enough for them to localize the last one. It wasn't worth the money. So they only made 2, and that's why there's the 2 that exist. One of the interesting things is that
I think it's kind of weird that Ganon is like proud that he like becomes like a pig demon.
Yeah.
Like that seems like the kind of thing that you'd want to like downplay.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? It was like, I can't remember what I was talking about.
So when he's transformed, he's Ganon, but when he's...
So he was the evil thief king Ganondorf.
Yeah.
And then when he got the power of the Triforce, or like supposedly in this story is he was so bad that they banished him to the Golden Realm, which was what the sages didn't know is where the Triforce was kept.
Yeah.
And when he touched the Triforce, it transformed him. Yeah. He turned into Ganon, the evil pig king. And the world that we've been playing in the Dark World is actually the Golden Realm.
Yeah. Okay, I remember. So I just couldn't remember why I knew there was a reason for the name difference, but I couldn't remember.
And I start the battle over again.
Yeah, and then
but now we can talk more about like the actual, now that we're at the climax of the game.
Well, let me finish this. So the reason that there was so there's Shiro, who's the black pilot, and who pilots the black lion in the current in the current anime, and then he piloted the blue one, I believe, in the original anime. I believe it was the blue, and then he was taken captive, but in the original anime he actually died. But in the localization, he was taken captive and then brought back, and he was a resistance fighter. And in the original anime, he died, and then his brother, who was like an identical twin, was a resistance fighter. And so there wasn't death in a children's cartoon. I don't know why I put quotations. So there wasn't death in a children's cartoon. They got rid of that.
Go Joe!
You ever notice that we don't hit anything? His cape kind of reminds me of Superman's cape because it kind of has the shield on the back, like Superman's does.
It has a shield?
Oh yeah, so watch.
Yeah, next time he faces away from me, I don't think it's supposed to. I think that's just...
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! Yeah. Like the mantle?
Yeah. The crest.
See, this is the frustrating thing about this fight, is like, it doesn't matter how many hearts you have. You'll just... If you fall down the side, you have to start the fucking fight over again.
Yeah. Cut off one of his tusks. That's where his power is.
Cut off his human horn.
Oh god!
Oh god! Oh god! Like, I'm the evil king of evil, but holy fuck, Link!
Oh, this is the darkest thing that has ever happened to me!
Like, holy shit, man, like, there's some lines you don't cross!
I am the hero of time!
And I will castrate you, oh my god!
I already castrated. Oh god.
Okay, so
is it bad?
So
I was. They can reattach it. He just like throws it off the side. Oh god, no! Oh god.
So this, I was having this discussion with my wife the other day. I can't remember what we were talking about, but it was something like, maybe it was Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But it was the concept that like, you can make the argument that dark magic is just a classification of magic, right?
Yeah.
But there's like so many of these shows where it's all like he's like, oh, he's the Lord of Evil. And he still gets followers, right? There's no justification for following someone who's straight up evil. You know?
You are a hero. Come on, raise your sword triumphantly.
Oh, I okay, so like, but that was one of the weird things. It's like he's the master of evil, and it's like he has such a huge following. Yeah. People don't just follow evil people; they follow evil people because they're
fail. You didn't fail.
Fail. Wow, we really fucked up on that name. We thought for sure. I mean, the other guy was like twice as big. He had this giant trident, but good job finding us. We're the Triforce. Yeah. And shit, we really did plan this through. You got anything, man? I got
everything is written for some guy named Champ.
Champ?
Yeah, Champ. He had like a sword that's twice the size of a master sword. The sword was like 7 feet tall. Fuck.
Okay.
Fail. The Champ with Fail.
Shh. The Fail, the great hero who was totally spoke of in prophecy. You have.
He is 7 feet tall. Damn it.
He who has been able to stride great rivers with a single. Okay, no, that's not right.
Muscular and
fuck shit. Doesn't have gay elf ears. Oh shit, that's not even politically correct anymore.
With dark flaxen milk and steamy blue. Oh man, this really gets into some weird.
Oh wow, that is graphic.
I don't think the drawings were necessary.
I agree to disagree.
In fairness, these were drawn a long time ago.
Fail. We're gonna level with you. We were clearly banking on someone else, but hey, good job. We'll totally undo all of the shit that you fought hard for. And after this, how about we go out for pizza, huh? High five? High five.
Not Hawaiian, right?
He's the hero, not the villain.
I just.
I got the Triforce. All right, so that's about wraps it up for Link to the Past Randomized.
The Return of the King!
Hope you've enjoyed this, even on our more rambling episodes.
Now, since this is Return of the King, we have to have, about 4 or 5 more endings.
Ending number 2.
Just sit here and wait for it to, Return of the King.
Uh-huh. And then ending number 3 comes after this. And then the Hobbits head to the west.
Getting closer.
Sahasrara. Okay, so keep in mind.
Look how happy they are.
So we don't even consider this. This is still the Japanese. This is still the Japanese game.
Yeah.
Like the spelling is at least correct, which is not something you would anticipate to see in a Japanese game. Even at this point, like you'd still get the odd misspelling or mountain tower. There's a Tower of Hera.
And then see, he made a friend, and
we never talk to them because we didn't know what he says. Your uncle recovers.
Your house. Yeah, look at and look at you. You got your sword. He's got his sword, but you're obviously much cooler because yours is gold.
Lunar orb for sale. Lunar orb.
It's only 3,000 rupees.
Oh, okay, I get it. That's actually really cute. The randomizer changed the title thing. So it usually says flippers for sale.
Oh, okay.
But since we bought the moon orb from him,
that's actually
they changed that. That's good job, guys. I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
We never did find. So we never did find the mushroom. We found the powder that the mushroom becomes. Oh, it's probably down there.
Yeah.
I never went back to check that tree after we got to the Dark World.
Those are some very happy lumberjacks.
Never did. Okay, I'm thinking about like 2 or 3 places that we didn't check for items, which I guess everything turned out okay anyways, but probably could have.
He beat the game. That's the important thing.
I like how they use the Gaelic spelling of fairies.
Yeah.
They changed that in other localizations. The Game Boy Advance version, they do the F-A-I.
She's beautiful!
The Dwarven Swordsmiths. Just going to town on that, baguette.
I was really counting on them waving. I really thought it was going to be
The Bug-Catching Kid. That's easily one of the lesser known of the Western Outlaws.
Well,
Jesse James.
I just really want you to just see Red come into the screen and run up to him, just be like, "Bug catcher, let's duel, Pokemon." See, I could have gone with Ash, and more people would have got it, but
yeah, you lost me. I had no clue who you were talking about. Red.
Yeah, that's why I saw it, and that's why I pushed through. The lost old man.
He is very lost if he's up there. How did you get up there?
It would be really funny if he just fell off now. Just be like, "Oh, boo!
Oh god! Oh god! No!" The Forest Thief.
There he is. I'm a thief.
It's kind of like Nelson once.
A little bit.
And the Master Sword sleeps again. Forever. Forever. Except for literally every
with the
other
gold sword.
Yeah.
So Link, I guess he just swapped it out for the third sword again. Just
the second sword. I don't know.
Yeah.
To be fair, we didn't temper the Master Sword. We tempered the first sword.
Yeah.
But my thing is, it always bugs me how it always says the Master Sword sleeps again forever, except for the next game and the game after that. And literally, every Zelda game since then has the Master Sword in it. Even ones that follow chronologically after this one.
Yeah, you figure that maybe they would just use the good sword, the great sword,
the pretty okay sword.
That's what Fail really should have got. His champ should have had the Master Sword, and Fail should have got the pretty good sword.
The Master Sword, the Apprentice Sword.
Okay, well, it was almost as long as Return of the King, and bye.